You're not going to be the same person you was in 8th grade. High school is literally teaching you how to become more independent. You're never going to know how people are if you don't take that first step and talk to them. Joining clubs allows you to experience new things. You don't want to be a senior looking back on your freshman year saying, oh, like, I wish I would have joined this club my freshman year. Your freshman year is literally the year that sets the ground point for how the next 3 to 4 years of your high school experience is going to turn out. We're in high school now. Like, why are we still not learning how to be organized? Why are we still having crumpled up papers, random papers stuffed in our backpacks? If you're changing yourself for a person, then that person is not for you. Having that good influence around you can overall like help you become a better student. Enjoy every single moment of high school. You have to treat people the way that you want to be treated. I mean, these years of high school is going to go by fast. I'm telling you that right now.
It was just me and Dylan.
Breaking bed, play my song on the radio. You too busy trying to find that blue ass one. I let my black hair go and my weeds on. And I sweat too much on the regular. We gon' let them get.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Samaj, aka Scruffy Twins, and I know you know, welcome back. And in this video, I'm gonna be giving y'all an updated freshman plus sophomore advice for this upcoming back to school season. Baby, if you would like to enjoy seeing this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications, check out my social description video because we're on to 1K, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright y'all, so I do have like both topics for both freshmen and sophomores in my phone and my notes. So if y'all do kind of see me looking down throughout this whole video, that's why.
Shit just got real, things are getting intense.
So let's go ahead and get started with the freshman advice portion of this video. And the first piece of advice that I want to give y'all is that it is okay to feel nervous on your first day of high school. So I do say this because, I mean, with any new grade level, like graduating 5th grade and going into middle school, being an 8th grader going into your freshman year of high school, being a 12th grader going into college, like with any new experience, of course you're going to be nervous because, I mean, it's going to be your first time experiencing, you know, middle school, high school, college. So of course you are guaranteed to have that nervous feeling, and I'm just telling y'all that it is okay to feel nervous about that because plenty of people have been in your shoes, you know, who are currently in high school or even maybe even graduated high school. We're nervous about that because it's just really a new experience, like just moving from something that you was used to for like over 3 years and then moving on to the next, you know, big chapter of your life. And take it from me, I definitely was nervous about my first day of my freshman year almost 2 to 3 years ago, which is crazy. Like, time is passing by fast, but I definitely was nervous my freshman year. The next thing that I will say is that you may grow apart from your middle school friends, and that is okay. So the reason why I say this too is because in high school, you are going to change, you are going to grow more, and you're basically growing into the person that you're trying to become while, I mean, like by the time you leave high school. So of course, like, people are going to change in life, that happens. And I mean, like, and sometimes you may find yourself, you know, growing apart from your old middle school friends, and you're not going to fit the same group of people that you were with in middle school compared to high school. You know, you're not going to be the same person you was in 8th grade, and just take that as a sign of growth, and just take that as a way to make room for meeting new people, and just like meeting new people that fits the current version of you, if that makes sense. So just don't take it the wrong way, and that's just like really a sign of growth and really just a sign of you growing more as a person, that makes sense. The next thing that I will say is to do not be afraid to put yourself out there and meet new people. So I will say this because of course, like, I mean, in your freshman year, if you don't go to school with your friends already, of course you are going to be surrounded by all these new group of kids who you never even seen before, and that you're going to spend your next 4 years of your high school experience with. So please do not be afraid to talk to people and put yourself out there, because you literally will not know who wants to be your friend if you don't take that first step and put yourself out there as well. Because take it from me, because like as an incoming junior, you know, like I've never really talked to people, you know, because I'm a very shy person in school anyway. So I really don't talk much. I really don't I just stay to myself, do my work, get out of there. But definitely, you know, like this year I really want to try and put myself out there and socialize too, because like I don't want to be by myself all the time, and I don't want to just like not have a whole bunch of friends as well too, because like I do, you know, I do like to make friends, and I do love having friends too. And not saying that you need friends in high school to have a good high school experience, because you definitely do not, and most people, you know, don't even like having friends. But definitely, like, if you are trying to meet new people and make new friends, like, please do not be afraid to at least talk to people, because I mean, you're never gonna know how people are if you don't take that first step and talk to them, or like at least try to hang out with them, you know, get to know them, you know, because high school does not last forever at the end of the day, and those high school years are going to fly by fast. So really just take that initiative now and just look, and just do not be afraid to put yourself out there, because it does not hurt, you know, to at least talk to somebody and talk to people, you know, and get to know them. The next thing that I will say is to join clubs and participate in school activities, because joining in clubs and participating in fun activities like that in school really just allows you to have that full high school experience, and joining clubs allows you to experience new things. You can also meet new people in those clubs, like make new friends in those clubs as well. And I feel like joining a club really just gets you to look forward to going to school like each and every day. It really just helps you get more involved in your school, homecoming, prom, school spirit week. So just make sure that you're trying to at least have fun in high school, you know, like do all the fun activities. Join clubs now, because like you don't want to be a senior looking back on your freshman year saying, oh, like I wish I would have joined this club my freshman year, or like I wish I would have done all the spirit weeks in my freshman year. The next thing that I will say is do not be afraid to ask your teachers for help, because I know that it can be very daunting or scary to have to, you know, get up and ask your teacher for help, because like I definitely was in your shoes, you know, even my sophomore year and definitely my freshman year too. But please do not be afraid to ask your teachers for help, because your teachers are literally there to help you, and that's literally like their job to help you. The next thing that I will say is to please, class of 2029, upcoming freshmen, please do not slack off during your freshman year. So I say this too, because your freshman year is literally the year that sets the ground point for how the next 3 to 4 years of your high school experience is going to turn out. So you don't want to be a freshman that slacked off their entire year, that didn't do no work, that made failing grades as well, because you're basically spending those next 3 years trying to play catch up. So you don't want to be that type of person who's slacking off during their freshman year and having to pay the price for that as they're getting ready to graduate, or like as they're entering their senior year, you know, and moving on to college. Do all your work and just be a good student. Just always try your best throughout anything that you do in high school, because I know that in high school, you know, things may be challenging, you know, hard coursework, hard classes, and come from me as a coming junior, like things were definitely hard for me. Please just make sure that you're always trying your best, because I'm telling y'all, like it will give you a good feeling to know that you're trying your best on something that may be hard for you, instead of just giving up on the first try just because something is too hard. Make sure that you're checking and staying on top of your grades, because high school is literally teaching you how to become more independent, and you're really getting into the habit of doing that as you enter your freshman year as well. So it's nobody else's grades but yours, and you basically have to be the person to be in charge of that stuff. And just overall, like make sure that your grades are up to par. Make sure that your grades are the grades, you know, like that you want them to be, and just make sure that you're staying on top of your grades as you're going into high school. The next thing that I will say is to stay organized. You don't want to be starting in high school having a messy backpack filled up with random papers. You don't want to not know where this assignment for your math class was. We're in high school now. Like, why are we still not learning how to be organized? Why are we still having crumpled up papers, random papers stuffed in our backpacks? And literally, like, staying organized just saves you less stress. Just knowing where each and every assignment is can overall just help you become a better student, and is a really good look as an incoming freshman, as like high school student in general. Like getting yourself a planner, get you some folders, dividers. We're in high school, we're not in middle school no more. So why are we not staying organized? You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you're staying organized as you enter in high school as well. Be yourself and do not put on a fake persona just to get people to like you. So I will say this too, because like if you're changing yourself for a person, then that person is not for you at the end of the day, because if you be yourself, more people will gravitate towards you for you, instead of just people gravitating towards you just because you're acting like somebody else and not yourself too. So just make sure that you're finding people who generally like you for you, and also like to hang around the right crowd too. It's a popular saying like that you are who you hang around. So you don't want to hang around this bad group of people, for example, and they do things like giving people a hard time in class, not turning their work in on time, slacking off. The more you hang around that group of people, the more likely you'll start to become like them. You start to, you know, slack up on all your work, don't turn your stuff in on time, like, because having that good influence around you can overall like help you become a better student. It can uplift you, and you can also uplift the people around you as well. So just make sure that you're having that good influence around you. Just make sure that you're just aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. Of course, enjoy your freshman year, or really just like every single year in general, because I mean these years of high school is going to go by fast. I'm telling you that right now, and you're only going to be in high school once throughout your life. So just enjoy every single moment of high school, you know, like enjoy all the ups and downs, and just make sure that you're getting getting the most out of your high school experience while you can. And just make sure to start developing good study habits. In high school, you are going to have to, study for upcoming tests, tests, exams, important classes. Like, you are going to have to study in high school, and really just developing those study habits now can overall help you become a better student, and it can really just help you better retain information for those classes. Now, like, this last portion, or like this last tip, basically like common sense though, but please respect your teachers and really just respect anybody who you hang around or like who you run into, because you have to treat people the way that you want to be treated. Teachers already deal with a lot of kids and a lot of stuff as it is, and you don't know what someone may be going through outside of school. I mean, that's not a good look on you anyway as a student, because first impressions do matter, and you don't want to be that student who is just mean to everybody and who just give people a hard time just for no reason. Like, just make sure that you're respecting your teachers, your classmates, and just anybody who you surround yourself with. So that's the end of my freshman advice portion. So let's go ahead and move into the sophomore advice portion for my incoming sophomores this year.
I hear you talking about we a lot. Oh, you speak French now.
So the first tip that I will give is to take AP classes if you're given the opportunity to. AP classes are college level classes that you can take in order to earn college hours. You're basically taking that class in order to get more ahead in college, and that's really just a good experience to take, and really just a good first time experience to try it, because like they are really beneficial to you in the long run. Keep track of your GPA. So as I was saying with like slacking up during your freshman year, so basically if you do slack up during your freshman year, that can affect how your GPA is going to be for the next 3 to 4 years of your high school experience. So just make sure that you're making good grades, and just like staying on top of your work more earlier can automatically help you have a better GPA if you just put in that work in beforehand and do not slack off in any of your classes, because your grades can either make or break your GPA. Some colleges, or most colleges, do look at your GPA. Just make sure that you're keeping track of that and make sure that you're maintaining a good GPA. I'm gonna talk about kind of like sophomore slump a little bit, because like I've been hearing this pretty much on TikTok, and like I've been hearing this really since my sophomore year. But I will say this, so I really don't think that sophomore slump is a real thing. I feel like that's kind of an excuse though, because I mean, if you really just do your work ahead of time and just like not wait till the last minute to do stuff, then you just stay more on top of your work as well. And I don't know, like sophomore slump is really just, I feel like sophomore slump is not a real thing, and please do not let other people like get you scared about going into these different grade levels as well, because I mean, everybody has their own high school experience, and not one thing that happened to this person is going to be the same thing that'll happen to you. But I mean, as long as you just take it day by day, have a good mindset going into it, and just do your work ahead of time, I feel like sophomore slump will not be much of a problem if you just go into sophomore year the right way. That makes sense. Do your work ahead of time. So as I was saying with like the sophomore slump situation, so doing your work ahead of time just saves you less stress, and just like doing your work ahead of time can get the work like off your plate more early, and just a better thing to do in high school in general, or like in school in general too, because you don't want to be this person that knew that they had like 2 weeks to do this big project, but then on the night before they spend it all day getting overwhelmed and rushing trying to complete this assignment that they had 2 weeks to do. So just make sure that you're doing your work ahead of time and getting it done, so then you don't have to worry about it later on. That also goes with like not procrastinating as well. I know that people do struggle with procrastinating, but just make sure that you're doing things ahead of time. Just don't wait till the last minute to do stuff, because just waiting to do stuff at the last minute is only causing more stress on yourself. Have good time management, because in high school you're all going to be balancing like 4 different classes a day, work piles up, I do know that. And just make sure that you have a good little schedule, save you less stress, and it can overall have you make time to get each and every assignment done that way. And that just helps you become more organized, and just implementing that as you start high school. The next thing that I would say is to, of course, keep a good mindset throughout every year of high school. So like as I was saying with sophomore slump, just keeping a good mindset can overall make each and every year of your high school experience more better. And I feel like your high school experience is really just all about your mindset, because if you don't have a good mindset going into high school, then it'll automatically make your high school experience a bad experience, because you have to have a good mindset going into anything, and just make sure that you're taking it day by day, as I just said, and just have like a good mindset throughout each and every year as you go through it. And then the last thing that I will say before I end off this video is to do not be afraid to challenge yourself, because I know that it may be scary, to try new things. I know that things are going to be hard, in high school, especially as an incoming junior. I definitely know that you know, things do be hard in high school, but just challenging yourself is a good way to learn your knowledge more and to better yourself, because I mean, if you're not challenging yourself, then how are you gonna learn, like grow and strive, you know? But yeah, y'all, so this is gonna be the end of my freshman and sophomore advice video, y'all. So hopefully I did explain everything to the best of my ability. But if y'all do have some more questions about freshman or sophomore year, like please leave them down in the comments below, y'all, because I will be happy to answer each and every one of y'all questions. But it's gonna be the end of this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Check out my social Christian video because we're on to 1K, and I will catch y'all in my next back to school video. So yeah, and bye guys.
We gon' let it go if it ain't next.